In Baltimore, 40% of the high schools have 0 students who can do basic mathematics. Not even the very simplest of mathematics. I said, give me your definition of basic. And they're talking about like adding a few numbers together.
That's crazy. You got the president of the United States of America talking about Baltimore City high schools. And again, school is a reflection of the community. The community is a reflection of the home. So what that tells you, you got the blind leading the blind, right? Now, some will argue and say, hey, and I would agree that it's not necessarily all the school's responsibility. It's the parents. I agree with that, but here's the thing. If mom and dad can't read, how they gonna teach the kids how to read? Why you think it's not a whole lot of home ownership in the cities by the people who predominantly live there? Because mom and dad is not a homeowner. If you grew up on Section 8, if you grew up thinking that, all right, I have a kid, I get on Section 8, get on this program, we is no plan to get off of Section 8. We just living on it as long as we can, and then we just like live with our kid when we get old enough. Excuse me, when the kid get old enough, probably, right? And it's not to take away from all the great kids in Baltimore City. See, a lot of people ain't gonna talk about all the great kids, right? I got a niece, man. Blew through all that shit, was on the news, reading at every graduation. She was the one reading everything. Ended up going to John Hopkins University, graduated. Could have been a doctor, could have did anything she wanted to do. And she chose to do what she wanted to do. Shout out to her, Sade. Got nephew Sherman, real smart. It's not to say that these kids, all these kids smart. Takaya, Michaela, Mahala, all these kids are smart. My daughter, since she been back in public schools, 4-point GPA the whole time. And that was thanks to homeschool. But the point I'm trying to make is you have to, as a parent, you have to put the work in with your kids. You have to hold them accountable. You have to check the homework, right? And a lot of people just not doing that because they don't know how to do the work, especially the math. Imagine that. You come bringing algebra home. Dad, what X mean? Mom, what X mean? And because mom may have knew how to do it when she was in school, but she like 15, 20 years removed from trying to figure out what X is. So how's she going to teach you? Nobody thinks to utilize the internet other than make fight videos and goofy stuff and look up dumb shit, but not to utilize all the information on there right at the tip of their fingers. Think like back in the day where you had to go get a encyclopedia or something and figure out what you you know what I mean? Imagine, remember looking up words in the dictionary? That's like ancient. Anyway, the point is, I don't want to take away from all the great kids that's out here doing great things, but it's true when he say 40% of the kids can't even add. And we can say we can't just dismiss almost half of the kids. We as parents have to do our job, check homework, man. If you have to take the time to learn how to do the shit yourself, and you starting from 1 + 1 = 2 to figuring out the square root, to getting in algebra, learning a little basic trig, so you can help your kid with their homework, that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. You need to sit down with them. How was school? Oh, dad, I did this. Mom, I did that. Let's look at it. Let's go over it. And you know what? Nobody wants to be embarrassed. You know what I mean? And not know how to do anything. But these are your kids. Be honest with them. I ain't do this in a long time. Let me do a refresher, right? So we sit there, we pour the computers out, the tablets, whatever. Let's watch a YouTube video, right? Create an example, right? Work whatever problem out, all the steps with your example problem. Do this, do that, divide this, multiply that. The order of operations, right? Always remember the order of operations. That way, when you're solving a problem, you know what to do first. And boom, you got the right answer. But sit down with your kid and work problems out, create notes, right? That they can use. You know, anything different is the numbers that they're using. But the process, the steps, the process is still the same. As parents, it's our job to help our kids. And I know life be so busy. It's busy. You gotta work, gotta cook, gotta clean. You wanna have some time for yourself and all that. You wanna drink your beer, smoke your weed, go to the gym, whatever it is you like to do, play the video game, but you have to be a parent first. This is our responsibility. And here, the president read that out, right? And you know how the political atmosphere is now, right now, how people feel. People ignore it because it's him saying it or try to prove him wrong. Here on the ground is right. I'm tired of seeing young dudes when I'm driving trying to wash my windows. They should be in school. You know why a lot of the violence is in school, all the fights and stuff, a lot of them should just raise their hand and got help. God forbid you raise your hand and be the laughing stock. Ask the teacher after class. But everybody act like they care about the future. Oh, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, but nobody won't equip the kids with what they need so they won't have a fucked up future. They won't. We care about all the wrong shit. You gotta eat the meat and spit out the bones. Medicine don't always taste good. It don't matter who you're hearing it from. 1 + 1 is 2, no matter who say it. So yeah, he right. I know guys right now in their 30s who can't read an email, who can't follow a link and fill out an application, or they read something they don't understand it. Slick dudes, all that. It's a lot of people out here that's like that, and they hiding to a certain degree because it's embarrassing. When they have kids, well, how they gonna help their kid? They hope the mom can read and write. Typically, the women's are the ones who can read and write. They the ones that pay attention the most. We got to do better as parents, man. We have to, and it's moms out there, right, who do pay attention, and dads that do pay attention, and they trying to figure it out. I'm gonna get my son counseling, tutoring. I'm gonna give him extra work, and it's like it's kind of a burden because you're trying to figure out how your kid learn. I'm gonna say it to them this way. I'm gonna say the same thing 50 different ways until they get it. And you gotta keep on pulling that lever till you get that perfect combination that they understand what you're trying to say to them. And it can be frustrating. It was a video where the little mom was trying to help the kid with his homework, or dad was, and I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna put it right here. But that's how it is for a lot of people when it comes to helping their kids with their homework. It's frustrating because we're not educators in a sense, but we really are because kids learn from us. Mom is the first teacher. It just, a lot of us just don't know what to do or know how to pick the right people to do it or even see the situation for what it is. There's a lot of bad motherfuckers out here. That's not good parents and they happy in their job. You know what I'm saying? They cool, whatever. And I'm not gonna say we don't see no value in education because that's not true. A lot of people just don't know what to do. But I'm gonna say this: we have to take responsibility. It's our fault. We're not gonna sit here and say the teachers are bad because 60% of them can, more than half can, but we can't say fuck the 40%. We can't. Conclusion: back to home reflecting the community, community being a reflection of the school. Right? Check your kid homework. Ask them how was their day. Right? A lot of the stuff that the kids do now in public schools is online. So you can see grades. The kids could monitor themselves, see how they doing before a progress report come out, and in between report cards, so they know what they need to work on. Right? They could ask for extra work. They could ask for practice. They could go to the teacher and say, "Hey, I'm having problems here. Mom, dad, make them get off the fucking game and read a book." They gotta practice those muscles. They gotta read. They have to. If they're not good readers, they need to become good readers. They got to make their weaknesses their strength So sit them in front of a book. Hey, I want you to read this and tell me, write a summary. And let's just be realistic. Give them chapter by chapter. All right, so in this chapter, this then let them this happened and Susie said this, blah blah blah. But just making sure they got the reading comprehension that they need, that they understand it, right? Those two things, math and reading, they could do the rest. But they need to understand what they reading. They got to read. I know everything is watching videos. It's like we getting to the point where it's like the calculator. Remember the calculator? The problem with that is it did all the thinking for you. Now we live in a society where everything does the thinking for you, right? We got so smart and made all these things that does all the thinking for you that if those things go down, those things that think for us can never be made again because they no more thinkers. It's like the calculator. Imagine doing all your math, all your long division on the calculator. Now you don't know how to do it no more. The calculator broke. It breaks like the world go come to an end. The calculator will never be made again, never, because the brains are not there. Because we got lax. We got to get hungry again. We got to stop being comfortable. If we do what we gotta do with education to change the future, if these people really care about the future of the kids, it don't matter who's saying the message. Do you hear the message, man? It doesn't matter. These kids gotta learn.